Do you ever find yourself coming before God in prayer but not having the words to speak? Or just feeling that desire to really connect with God, but not knowing how or not knowing what to say? Well, today I want to just share with you a couple of things. One is a practical resource. The other one is just a thought. The practical resource is to point your attention to our Book of Common Prayer. Many of you have a Book of Common Prayer lying around, but you haven't used it in a long time. Maybe you're not very familiar with what's in it. But if you don't have one around, you can also go online to Book of Common Prayer online, and there's a PDF, and you can find this. The page numbers will be the same. But on page 810 in the Book of Common Prayer, there is a section called Prayers and Thanksgivings, and there's a table of contents that you can look at. And it's basically simple prayers for all kinds of different situations. There's prayers for the world, there's prayers for the church, for national life, there's prayers for social order, prayers for the natural order, so you can pray for the earth and conservation of natural resources. There's prayers for family life and for personal life, and then there's other prayers that you might find helpful. There's also a section for Thanksgivings. And so many Episcopalians, when they're looking for words to pray, just something that's thoughtful, that can maybe help communicate a desire or an intention, they go to these prayers in the Book of Common Prayer. Like I said, which begin on page 810. So I hope that's helpful. The other thing I wanted to mention is sometimes in the Western church, we're really good at talking, using words, but not so good at listening. And it's one of the, can be one of the stifling aspects of our prayer lives is just looking for things to say. And what I always remember is, in this book that I read years ago, there is this, it was about the spiritual life and about prayer. And there's this one line in there where the author said, if you had 10 minutes with God face to face, who would you want to do most of the talking? And that's always sat with me. The truth is that I already know my thoughts. I know what it is that I want to say. But what I'm really dying to hear is what God has to say. And sometimes we fill the spaces of our prayer with words. And there's a time for that. But there's a real opportunity for us to also stop and to listen. And sometimes we're like, well, what do I listen to? Do I use my ears? I'm not hearing anything audible. And I want to just say that the longer that we sit with an intention just to say, God, I'm here. I'm just opening myself up to you, and I'm going to sit in perfect silence. You know my thoughts. You know the desires of my heart. You know the things that I'm concerned about. And so I'm just going to sit here and feel known and just and know that I'm in your presence, that it does allow just some room for God to help you just make some connections that you may not otherwise make because you're so busy and life is so busy. And so I want to invite you to make yourself comfortable, a little bit more comfortable with space and silence. And maybe it's just 5 minutes. Set your timer, maybe 10 minutes a day, just to do nothing else but sit in the presence of God and just see what happens. So I wanted to just bring this up as an invitation, as a start to maybe some thinking about what the prayer life can be. Is it just talking, or is it also sitting in silence? And so I hope this helps. And these are my little musings and reflections that I offer you every week. And I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. God bless you, St. John's.